Hi, my name's Fiona Kyle. I'm known as the Little Red Hoop on Instagram, where I share all my cross stitch and slow stitching and quilting and op shopping and various things that I'm interested in. And I thought I would start a YouTube channel so I can document some of that and perhaps share it with all of you. I live in Dunedin, which is down in the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. I'm a stay-at-home mum, but I'm not quite sure how long I can claim that title, as I've got 2 children who live in Melbourne, and I've got three boys. The oldest boy lives with us at home at the moment with his 2 lovely cats. I've been stitching and doing things from, I don't know, I remember going to Brownies and I've got a wee yellow bag with a hexagon stitched onto it, and I think that's sort of the first thing that I did. I'm kind of the same as everyone else. I learnt from Mum. Mum was a knitter, she was a quilter a bit, but and learnt from Nana. I used to go to Nana's place and go through her button tins and her fabric stash and things like that, and her bead tin, which I spilt all over the floor one day. With those little tiny blue beads just went everywhere. They're probably still in between the floorboards of the house. And I do have that bead tin here now, and I use it quite a bit. I thought what I would do today is just show my WIPs. That's probably the easiest way to get into showing you what I stitch. I'm currently filming in my sewing room, which is a room sort of outside of the house. And these are sort of all my curiosities and bits and pieces I've got from op shops, and or my lovely stitchy friend Susan has stitched bits for me, and sort of move out of the way so I can let you know what any of those are if you need to know. So I'll get right into it, and I think I've got 13 maybe, but I'll start with this wee one in this lovely wee pouch. It's probably the noisiest, and sorry, there's a zip. I haven't got any more zips. This is the only one. But this travel project in it has the little red hoop. So this is my little red hoop, and this was, I got years ago, like maybe 27 years ago. A friend of mine, his dad was a rep for a, what's the word I'm looking for? Sewing company that did all sorts of haberdashery and things like that. And when he finished, he had a box of stuff that he didn't want any more samples and bits and pieces, so he gave it to me, and I've kept this. And when I started cross stitching maybe in the 80s with Blackbird designs, patterns and things, I used it, and then when I picked up cross stitch again, probably got into it more in COVID times, I went back to my little red hoop, and that's what I seem to enjoy. I've tried Nudge hoops that are the same kind of spring hoop, but they just don't have the same tension that I like. So most of my stuff gets stitched in the little red hoop, made in West Germany, I think it says. And I look for in the op shops every time, but I can't find another little red hoop. So in that at the moment, I've got a couple of travel things I'm stitching on Maggie May by Stacey Nash. So I've just picked colours that I had here. I can't even tell you what the fabric is because it was just a scrap I got out of my sewing room before I went to Australia last week. So yeah, so that's as far as I've got with it, but I do have her head finished. So I'm now working on her cardigan. So she's a nice wee stitch. Put that over to the side. So the next one, which is probably one of my oldest WIPs, is Louisa Barney, and I started this for my 50th birthday with my stitchy friend Susan. I'll get Susan on here one day. Hi Susan. I'm doing this and not telling Susan, so she's going to get a big surprise. So she's finished her Louisa Barney, and it's beautiful. Haven't been quite so good. So mine's on, perhaps I am not so good because mine's on 28 count. So it's on a 28 count light nougat from XJU. yeah, I'm opening all these up sort of for the first time for a wee while, so I've done quite a bit. All the way down the bottom there, got the peacock. I think I was last working on that bouquet of flowers, and I've got along that far on the top border. It's really pretty, and I do love it on this fabric, and it's going to be quite big, but anyone in New Zealand, if you get the chance to go to Annie's in Ashburton, she's got Anne Grimshaw and Dutch Beauty up on the wall, and they're big. They're really big. I think they look like they're on 28 count or something, and they're so beautiful. They're just, oh, her Anne Grimshaw is just lovely. So yep, she'll get back to that one day. So that's Louisa Barney. Next one I'm doing is Peacock, Unicorn and a Badger by Scarlet Letter, like lots of people. I started this on 32 count Woodland Pine by number 12 Stitch Co. I do like their linen, and it's nice that they're on the same side of the world as I'm on. So this is kind of how far I've gotten with my, down to the unicorn. I haven't done anything along the bottom, but I do enjoy stitching that. It's really good fill-in stitching. Again, I must get back to it. I sort of, yeah, had a wee bit on life at the beginning of this year, and kind of got out of cross-stitching a wee bit. It was just, I didn't have the brain power to count, so that's what happened there. Next one is one that none of you will have seen unless you've looked at my Instagram. And this is a photocopy of a sampler. It's probably about the right size actually. But this sampler is Anne Robertson, and she was my, I don't know if you can see it properly, she was my great, I think, grandmother. I need to look that up again, in Scotland. So this sampler, I don't think it came out with Grandad when he and his family came to Dunedin from Scotland. I think he might have got it one time when he went back, because I do recall him going back a few times and bringing things back. So Mum had it, so Mum kindly gave it to me for my 50th birthday. So I've now got it. So I have started doing a wee bit. I've got kind of all the border in place, but yeah, that's kind of as far as that one got, because it does take a little bit of brain power to look at the sampler and work out where she's put things and how she's done it. But I was enjoying that actually. Yeah, that's on 32 count Platinum Lagana. I quite like that platinum colour. My next one is Mary Carr. And I waited a long time for this to come out, and so I could get it. I love that. Love these flowers here. So I've done a little bit on that. I'm stitching this on 36 count Dusty Road from Seraphim Fabrics. When did I start this? 2022. Probably should get back to this too, because I really wanted this. So I'll start on this side. I've done that much sort of on the top. I've done the words in the middle, and I'm just over, and I was working on this big flower here. I had to change my colours in the flowers because I wanted them to look like they did in the photo, and the threads that I had, it just all blended in. There wasn't enough contrast between the two, so I did do a bit of a colour change there, which I can't remember at the moment to tell you, but I could look it up. So that's that one. Next is Elizabeth Ann Hagg, and this is by their Sampler. And that's another one that I waited and tried to get hold of. I think in the end I got it from Victoria Rose Needle Arts in Florida, are they? So I'm doing her on 32 count Dolly Madison by Needle and Flax. Oh, she's quite pretty. So I've done that wee bit in the top corner there. Started the 1/1 on the words, and I enjoy 1/1 stitching actually. And then I've done these flowers here. So I like that. Actually, I haven't got that quite filled in. I think I was doing fill in at Dunedin retreat that we had a couple of years ago, which was fun. Should go to another one. Next one is the Two Lions Sampler, and this is by Au Point de Marie, who's an Etsy seller. So that's the pictures and those flowers in the middle there. They were like, oh, I need to do that. So I'm doing this on 32 count pie crust from Kitten Stitcher, by Kitten Stitcher, from Kitten Stitcher, and a wee bit along the top. So that's sort of that top corner. I did enjoy the red flowers along the top. I think I stopped a wee bit because I wasn't enjoying them so much when they came into this beigey colour, and they're around most of the rest of the border. I've got that corner to there. And did I start the flowers at the top? Yeah, it looks like I've started the flowers here. So that was good. I enjoyed stitching that one. That's another one I should get back to. And hopefully I will. This next one is called Grete Rathmund. It's from European Reproduction Samplers, Sabine. And that's such lovely colours in this. Yeah, I really enjoy that one. I haven't done a lot on it. Partly across the top row, I think. And it's on 32 count light drab from XJU. I love XJU's fabrics. I had a boy who used to buy quite a bit, have it for a wee bit, but so that's sort of where I'm up to. I've got one lot of wee flowers, and all the letters across the top there. So that's that one. Nice fabric, that one. The next one is my what I use for my daily stitch, and I did last year, and it's Antoinette 1894 to 96, and that's from Sabine as well, European Reproduction Samplers. So what I was doing was a letter a day, or a wee piece of the swag in the border a day. Oh, so it's got a bit of glare on it, hasn't it? And I did that quite well last year, and I thought I had worked it out to get it all finished, but anyway, I slowed up a bit, and towards the end I kind of got up to around here, and I knew I wasn't going to make it by the end of the year to this bit, so I've carried it over to this year. But yeah, I haven't picked it up this year either, so hopefully I will. Let's see a little bit better. Sorry, a bit of glare there. First time mistakes. Should have bought myself a glass of water too. That would have been good. So I've got quite a bit done on this, and I'm doing it in black Silks for You silk, and I can't remember the number. I'll just sort of scroll it up there so you can see it. Lovely pussycat. One of the pussycats with us at the moment is a black one, so I enjoyed doing that. And where are we up to? I hope all of these letters are around the right way when I post the video, but anyway, I've got up to there. I do have all the border done, so it's just a matter of doing all the fill-ins and things, but I should get back to that one letter a day. Although these big letters actually took more than one sewing session. They were quite a lot of stitching, those big ones, but they're so lovely. So I tended to do them, like do a couple of little letters and one of those in a day. But now I've got that out, I'll keep it out and see if I can get back to doing that. My next one is one that you might not have all seen either. It's called Marion Sanderlands, and this sampler is a kit I found in an op shop. I know it's all supplied. I'm not sure what the linen is that I'm stitching on, but it was done through how long ago? The embroidery sampler replicated in this pack is the first sampler known to have been acquired by Toitu, Otago Settlers Museum, Dunedin, New Zealand. So that's our settlers. It used to be called the Early Settlers Museum. It's now Toitu, which is the Maori name for it. sampler was designed and stitched by Marion Sandilands, who arrived in Dunedin from London on board the Gloucester on the 26th of December 1858. Marion Sandilands died of consumption at the age of 16, and is likely that this sampler, with its beautifully executed and unusually painterly landscape scene, was made by her during the course of her illness. So I think it was done in collaboration sort of with the Embroidery Guild as well. Maybe back in 1990s. I did read it somewhere, but so that's that anyway, and this won't take long because that's all I've done on it. The fabric is it's really quite loose, and I think I'll change fabrics to a nicer 36 count. I enjoy 36 count with 2 threads, so excuse me, that will be a restart, but I'd like to do that. Next one is one that a lot of people are doing. It's Charlotte Warrington of the by Needlework Press, of the Homespun Facebook page. So what am I up to on that? She's my leap year project, so what I did was split it up into however many pieces over 4 years, but I'm about 3 months behind, so we'll just see how that goes. I've got quite a bit done. I'm all the way across the top. Actually, I've got the whole top row done. I've got the wee boy done and the cartouche. I went for the over 2 version in the cartouche. Started the lady and then got stopped. So I've got the border all the way down on the right side, and down the bottom here I have started a wee bit of the bottom, what are we, right hand corner, which I enjoyed. All that green fill-in. So yeah, I'll get back to that one day too. Next one I have is Mary Peacock. Now this is an out of print chart from Needle Print, and I so kicked myself that years ago when they were putting these charts out for free online that I didn't print them all off. But anyway, I acquired this from a lady I bought some things from on Trade Me, which is like a eBay type sellers, and she kindly put this in the packet as well, plus another one I can't remember the name of. So I've been using I did my own colour conversion sort of as I go too, so that it's similar to the front page, because that's what I like. So I started in the middle because I think my fabric is going to be just a little bit skimpy. So that's the middle one, I'm up the right way, and then I've sort of gone up to the top, and I think I was going to work my way to a corner that I don't have much left here for framing, so that's why I kind of had to start in the middle. But I really wanted it on this fabric, which is 36 count Thornfield from Needle and Flax. I just like the mottling with it, just sort of looked like on the cover. So that's Mary Peacock, which I'm very lucky to have. Next one is an older Scarlet Letter, 1983. Not that old, not as old as me. And this is the Anne L. Brown sampler, if you can see it there. My mum's name is Anne and her maiden name was Brown, so it was one I had to get in stitch. Particularly as she hasn't been very well this year, so I thought I would, well, actually I went into an antique shop one day and purchased a sampler. I've got a few antique samplers that I've purchased over here in New Zealand, and I'll slowly bring them on and show you them as we go. And I was just finishing paying for it, and the lady behind the counter said, "Oh, do you cross stitch?" I said, "Oh yes, I do. That's where my interest is." And she said, "Oh, hang on, would you like some linen?" So she ran out the back and she brought this whole, hands together, whole great big stack of cross stitch linens, for linen and Ada. So this was actually a piece that was in her bag, so I have no idea, but Mum loves green and I thought I would do it on green. So I've gone right across the middle, because again the fabric was going to be a wee bit skimpy on either side for framing, but I knew I had the height of it, but not the width, so that's where I've got to, just the middle, just this middle bit along here and the basket, so that yeah, a bit more to do on that, but that's, I think, probably a 32 count, because it's quite an easy fabric to stitch on. And the last one here is the these Christmas stockings that the Wiz Narissa from Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle has done so many sets of, and I can't even get 2 of them done. So I started these after seeing someone on Instagram, probably, stitching them on a lighter fabric. So I've got number 1 done, and this is 36 count cream and sugar by Fibre on a Whim, and I've got that much of number 2 done. So I've got a red and white stripe, like a ticking stripe, to go on the back, and I'll work away at those. So I think that's all in my pile of WIPs, and just a sort of an introduction, and that's me and what I stitch. I love my samplers, love my Christmas decorations. I've got some Prairie School centres that I'm sort of working my way through, but I don't have one on the go at the moment. But yeah, I think that's about it, really. Hopefully this is all right and everything's round the right way and there's not too many ums and ahs, and we'll see how we go, and when I might do another one, I'm not sure. I'll just, as I go, as I've got something to show or something I've been making, I'll pop up a video. But yeah, hope you enjoyed another cross stitcher from New Zealand. See ya, bye.